St. Patrick's Day, so I guess we should probably go with a severed lime. This is not sponsored by Liquid Death, but if you haven't tried their new sparkling water with flavour this time, you really should, because it's great. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Well, my mum is here from the UK, so I've been spending a lot of time with her, which means that this week we are going to do a pretty simple video. We're going to do a Q&A because it's been a while, and I've had some absolute belters on my Instagram. Most importantly, what is it like being friends with millionaires? So we're going to get right into that, but before we do, I would just like to say that if you aren't subscribed to my Patreon, then you can go over there and get all kinds of behind the scenes access. We're going to do Q&As just like this, but only for the patrons, so that will just be us on a live stream. You can be firing away questions and we'll just chat back and forth. I'm going to post behind the scenes stuff. You're going to get early access. If you are an early birds patron, then you'll get early access to the videos, so you'll get to see them 24 hours before anybody else. And yeah, lots of other cool stuff, limited edition merch drops, all kinds of things. So if you haven't checked out the Patreon and you do want to support the channel, then go ahead and click the link in the description below, and I'll put it up on the screen as well for you to check out. Anyway, with that all said and done, let's get into this Q&A. Ben Rouse says, what watches are you thinking about getting in the future, and what's your grail watch? That's a great question. So if you watched my video a few weeks ago, then you'll see that I went and looked at all of the new Seikos. Seiko has a speed timer, which is kind of like a Daytona, Rolex Daytona homage. That is honestly probably going to be my next purchase. I absolutely love that watch. Other than that, my grail watch, that's so difficult. I really do like Rolexes. I love the Rolex sport models. Actually, I tell you what I'm looking at right now. It's not my grail watch, but there is a Seiko. It's a Seiko GMT, and I forget the model name. There's one called like the Sharp Edge or something. It's not that one. It's the Spring Drive. It's about $5,500. But I just really like the fact that it's, recently I've gotten into the idea of having a GMT as my daily watch, because obviously all of my family, my friends are back in England. So I do love the idea of having a watch where I can always have one hand on English time. Just, I don't know, I just think that feels kind of cool. So I have been looking at that. Now obviously there's the Rolex GMT, beautiful watch, but very, very pricey. So this Seiko might be a good middle ground. Grail watch, honestly, I don't know. There's so many, and I change my mind all the time. But probably some type of white gold Rolex, I think. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. There's so many. But yeah, definitely those are two watches. The two Seikos are the ones that I'm looking at getting next. DBFresh18 says, how do you handle being around pretentious people for videos or maybe at parties? Again, another great question. When I moved to LA, I was very surprised with how fake a lot of people are out here. I come from a small town in England, right in the middle of the UK, so not even kind of the London scene. And so I have just very fortunately been surrounded by very genuine people. And so when I moved to LA, I was amazed at how many people there were that just said what they thought you wanted to hear, and would do anything just to kind of get to where they wanted to be, even if that meant treading on you. A lot of flaky people, a lot of people not doing as they said they would, and that's just not me as a person. If I commit to doing something, I'm gonna do it. And if I'm friends with somebody, then I am genuinely friends with somebody. I'm not gonna just try and use someone to get, ahead. So that was very difficult. The way I deal with it, honestly, is I surround myself with very good, positive people. I have a very small friendship group, very select people that add to my life, that give me inspiration, that make me feel motivated and support what I do. And so that's how I kind of stay away from that negativity. Now, there's sometimes when you just can't, right? You go to an event, you go to a party, business meet, whatever it is, and you're around douchebags. The way I deal with it is I'm just totally unapologetically myself, and I don't sort of put up with any of their BS. So if people start waffling on, I just lose interest, glaze over, oh, I'm sorry, go somewhere else. I just don't surround myself with it. And actually what I found is that has allowed me to make very good connections with people, because they are pleased that I'm not a yes person. So there's a lot of influential people that I get to hang out with. There's a lot of very successful people that I get to cross paths with, and I am the same with them as I am with anyone else. And we'll get to this again in a second with the millionaire question. But yeah, that's kind of what I am. I'm unapologetically myself. I've always stood by the motto that I'd rather you hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. and that's something that I've always lived by. So that's kind of how I deal with the negativity and the douchebags and how did you put it? The pretentious people. DB Fresh 18. Oh, it's you again. Okay, you get 2 questions here, bud. What's your honest opinion of Nile Niami? If the answer will get you into trouble career-wise, don't answer. So Nile is such an interesting character. If you don't know who Nile Niami is, go and do your research, look up The One. There's a huge house in Bel Air that was built by this guy. It took 8 years to build. It was reportedly valued at over $500 million. The thing was crazy. We did a tour on it for the Producer Michael channel, and ultimately it went into foreclosure, and Nile ended up losing the house, and it sold for 126 million or something to the guy that owns Fashion Nova. Nile is... there's this fine line, right, between genius and insanity, and I feel like, honestly, Nile just like flip-flops between the two, because the fact of the matter is he built that house. He did it, you know, like his ideas got turned into a reality. He's a self-made guy, so he has these amazing ideas and he is able to bring them to fruition. Now, like I said, I think he sort of does this on that like insanity and brilliance line, and unfortunately, you know, it's a very, very fine line, and sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't. So yeah, personally, you know, I haven't had a lot to do with Nile, just in the few times that we've met on the show, doing the Producer Michael show. But I do think that he has some amazing ideas, and I think with the right team behind him, he would be able to do unbelievable things. There are some things that he's shown us that are sort of future plans outside of the more sort of wacky ones that he's come out with that are truly game-changing. But I just don't know if they're ever going to happen, because I don't think he has that team around him. So I've got a lot of respect for Nile. Like I said, he can definitely be crazy, and sometimes he needs reeling back in, but sometimes you got to let him go, because that's where the brilliance comes from. So yeah, overall, you know, I do like Nile, and I do wish him the best. It's such a shame that the one project never came through, but I hope that he's able to, you know, find some wins in there from the situation and, you know, continue down his path and create something new and keep on going. Ahmad Sally says, did you ever think that one day you would visit multi-million dollars worth of houses, expensive watches, and supercars? That's a good question, mate. I have these like mixed feelings about the way that my career has gone, you know, and because on one hand, sometimes I find myself in situations where I'm like, holy shit, is this real? Like, am I really doing this? And then on the other side, I'm like, well, yeah, I am doing this because I made it happen. So did I ever think I would? I don't know. I guess I hoped I would. I've always tried with my photography career, my videography career, to work in industries and take on jobs and commissions that are things that interest me. So I've always done that. It's been very rare that I've found myself doing something for work that I don't enjoy, and that's by design. Did I think I'd be doing a YouTube channel with 1.3 million subscribers, the Producer Michael channel, not this one? No, absolutely not. I never thought that would be the case. But I did think that my photography and videography skills would lead to big, fun, exciting things, and that is the reason why I moved from the UK to LA originally, but to California. I watched the Ken Block Gymkhana videos, and I was just hooked, and when they did the one in LA, I remember sitting in my office watching this. It was raining outside, and I was just like, I've got to move. Like, I have to go there. If I want to be involved in projects like this, I have to go there. And that's what I did. Sold my house, said goodbye to my family, said goodbye to my friends, moved across the world to chase that dream. And, you know, it's turned into this. So, yes and no. I guess I didn't know it was going to be exactly like this, but I always knew that I was going to be doing something fun, because that is, for me, the whole purpose of living, is to do something for work that doesn't feel like work because you genuinely enjoy it. Logan Rips, would you ride to Catalina with a fan? I have a 2019 SeaDoo RXT and do the Catalina run often. Logan, 100%. I'm pretty sure we've kind of DM'd back and forth, but yeah, I'm 100% down for doing rides with viewers, and I am definitely going to be trying to put something together in the near future where we can get people to come down and we'll go and do that run and film it and have a great time, because yeah, you don't have to ask me twice to do a run from Newport to Catalina on the SeaDoo. I love it. All right, so Leon T asked the question, how does it feel to be friends with a millionaire? Now, this is a really interesting question because I get asked this quite a bit through DMs, through emails, and honestly, it's something that I find such an alien concept because to me, I couldn't care less how much money you have in the bank. For me, what's important is the person that you are, because if I am not benefiting or affected by the money that's in your bank account, then why does it matter? For example, I know a lot of people with a lot of money, and they have given me none of that money. Therefore, it doesn't matter to me how much money is in the bank because it has zero impact. But I do know people who live paycheck to paycheck who will offer time and time and time again to buy me drinks, to buy me dinner. You know, like when we go out, no, don't worry, mate, I've got this. Like, we'll order pizza. No, I've got it. They'll come over, they'll bring beers. You know, so just because you've got money in the bank doesn't change sort of how I should respond to you. Now, if you've got money in the bank, typically that means that you're successful, right? Or you've inherited the money, but usually it's because you've been successful. Now, if you're a successful person, I respect that, and that will perhaps change the way that I feel about a relationship because I get inspiration from successful people, and like I said, I try and surround myself with successful people. But it's not because I want the money, it's because I like the energy that successful, positive, kind people put out. Now, you could also be successful and have made no money. You could be a successful artist. You could be a successful surfer. Like, you know what I mean? It's not about the fact of has your success led to money. It's about does your success change who you are as a person and lift the people up around you? And if that is the case, I want to be one of those people. In the same way, I want to lift people up around me. So I like to help others wherever I can. So the whole millionaire thing and people having money and people acting differently around them, I see it all the time, especially here in LA. And what I would say is that the majority of the people that I know that have a ton of money, I'm probably better friends with them because I don't treat them any differently to how I would treat someone with no money. You know, like let's say there's a CEO of a company or a successful business person that I'm friends with, and then I'm friends with the gardener that comes and cleans up the gardens around here. Like, one of them's earning minimum wage, the other one's making millions and millions of dollars a year. I don't treat them any differently. It's all, hello mate, how's your day? How's the kids? How's the wife? Like, what are you doing this weekend? Because they're human. They're just people. And honestly, one of the biggest things is if you've got a lot of money and you act like a dick, I want nothing to do with you. I'm not going to be a yes man just because you got money in the bank. I want nothing to do with that. And that comes back to the question earlier, which is like, you know, surrounding yourself with good, positive people. So I would say, guys, if you find yourself in the mix with wealthy people, don't treat them any different because they're wealthy, because it really doesn't make a difference. Case in point, we just did a video with Manny Koshbin. Manny has an insane car collection. He is a super wealthy guy. He's got this man cave where he's got one of one Bugattis and Paganis, and he's got Mercedes SLRs, and it's insane. P1, McLaren Speedtail, all in this one garage, right? When I got chatting with Manny when we were packing up after the shoot, I was talking to him about riding SeaDoos out to Catalina, and I was like, yeah, you know, I don't know if you're into that kind of stuff, but if you ever are and you want to come out, we can get you a rental SeaDoo and take you out. And he was stoked on the idea. That's the thing, is I'm not, I'm not going to act any differently, because I would do the same thing to his assistant or to anyone else. I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but hopefully you get the message. Just be a good person and look for the good in other people and forget everything else. Respect their success. Look to people for inspiration, but don't worry about how much people have got in the bank. It doesn't make a difference. If you aren't benefiting from it, if they aren't paying for everything, and if you're not riding their coattails and you owe your life to their money, then it shouldn't matter how much someone's got in the bank. So that's what I've got to say on that matter, is just look to surround yourself with good people, whether they've got millions or pennies. And as long as they're good people and they make you a better person, that's all you can ask for. Anyway, guys, like I said, this is just going to be a little quickie because my mum is here and I don't want to take too much time away from seeing her because, as you guys know, I don't get to see her very often. It was 6 months ago that we got to see each other in Antigua, and now she's actually here in Orange County. So I'm about to go and have my dinner because she's just made it. I've just heard the oven ding. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. That really helps. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to see you guys here again. And tune in next week because I have a surprise. It's my mum's birthday on Sunday and I'm taking her up to Big Bear and I've got her an amazing present. Amazing present. So yeah, tune in next week for that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, until next time, don't know anything I wouldn't do. See ya.